go straight to the Facebook Don himself. I'm talking about Emeka Nobis. Now, for someone that left an oil servicing company to face his brand, and now you're talking of 71K followers and more, and still counting. I want to know how you navigated, how were you able to do this on your own? What was it like?
Okay, so I like quickly. I wrote my points down so that I don't speak off points. So the first thing I did was to actually define where I was going, define specifically. I didn't want to become a wandering general. I wanted to be a meaningful specific. All right. So people who know me and follow me on Facebook know that I'm a combination of two things: intellectual sagacity and humor, clean humor. When it comes to sagacity, it means that I like thought leadership. I like to analyze. I like to criticize. I like to break down things in very simple forms. Even to some point, people think that I'm antichrist, the way I intellectualize certain things that are spiritual, right? And that's fine, absolutely fine. And then when it has to do with humor, people know that I crack jokes. I talk about my son. I talk about what my kids do. I poke fun at clubs. Like today is Saturday now. I'm not a fan of any club whatsoever. So I poke fun at Arsenal. And, the thing is this, defining your audience. Because people who come to my audience know that this is what I do. They know that I'm fun when it has to do with clubs. They don't come there and start to cuss people out. So first thing is to define. I decided to define thought leadership. This is the way, influence people's minds by virtue of the thoughts, my ideas, my ideologies, and things that I put out there. The second thing I did was to my nomenclature and symbolisms. So I said I was going to be called the Don. Trust me, when I called myself the Don for the first time, even though many of my friends back in World Bank where I grew up, where here, used to call me the Don because when I play Scrabble with them, I win them because I like forming words. So I was studying dictionary, and then I come and I place premium words, and there was a day I played something that they jumped the dictionary and they saw it. The guy just proclaimed me and said, "You are the Don." So, but the day I deliberately called myself the Don on social media, my friends, my classmates were kicking against it. They were like, "Who are you?" Even the day I called myself the Sage for the first time, they were like, "Who are you? What do you know?" But I kept at it. And then I asked myself, if I want to call myself the Don, what can I use to represent? And so one day that I was coming back from Owerri, that was during the 2019 elections, I saw on a billboard between River State and Imo State. And it was Emeka Nobis. And I saw on the billboard just his green cap. And they wrote on that billboard who the cap fits. No name, nothing. But if you look at the billboard, you find out that they are referring to Emeka Nobis. So I said, Emeka Nobis, you need to have some symbolisms. And that was when I went for this hat. People know I wasn't wearing a hat before. But now, what does it mean? When you see people say, when they are trying to do events and they say, they put out a picture with a hat and they say, can you decipher who this person is? Immediately, people begin to mention Emeka Nobis, Emeka Nobis. That means that my symbolism has stuck, and I'm continuing on that path. The third thing I did was consistently, every day, I wake up and I create content on a daily basis. Some days I create up to 20 pieces of content. Some days I create 10. Some days when the spirit is not moving so well, I do 5. But every day since 2011, even when I had an accident in 2019 and I was on the hospital bed, I was creating content based on what I was seeing other patients do in the hospital. People didn't know that I was in the hospital. They thought that Emeka Nobis was on a journey of describing people who were in the hospital. But I was lying down on my hospital bed, and I was describing the situations of my fellow patients, those whose legs were cut off, those who wake up in the night after they have been discharged because of too much money. They wait till midnight, 12 a.m., 1 a.m. when the nurses were sleeping. They will jabber like that with their bags. And by next morning, we didn't know what was going on. So consistently creating content. Then the fourth thing I did was to understand that my audience, people who connect to me, they feed me. And so I don't treat them as just my money bags, but I treat them as human beings. People see me at different events. Sometimes I go to events and I stand by the door. I hug people. I talk to people. I came here yesterday and I came to this. Some people say, you're a speaker. Why are you leaving your hotel room to come here? Because I want to value people. People who know me on social media, when they curse me on social media, go and check how I reply. Because my intention is always to leave people with an empowered feeling. Yesterday, the driver that brought me all the way from Port Harcourt to this place, the guy looked at me and he said I was an actor. I said, no, I'm not an actor. I laughed. And he looked at me and said, you're an Oxian. Like, how did he know? He said, you are amongst those people we used to see in secondary school that they will bring on top of the, to give them award. And I said, but back then, you guys always loved those who used to flog you. You always knew those ones. And he said, no, they are the bad boys and the good guys. You are among the good guys. And I was thinking, if I had flogged that guy mercilessly when I was in secondary school, maybe he would have dumped me in the bush to revenge as he was bringing me down here. So the thing for me is that understanding that my audience, they are humans. I hug, I relate. This morning, a lady on Instagram reached out to me and said she had some issues. I said, no problem, I'll call you. Give me your number. The moment I called her, she shouting. She was shouting, For 1 minute, she was shouting that I couldn't call her. But I spent 45 minutes of my money and my time and gave her 5 strategies that she could use to be for free, just like that. What happens is that when I consistently did this in the lives of individuals, they become my ambassadors by themselves. They go to spread the information. They share. They connect. They tell people about me. And that's how I keep growing. So my brothers and sisters, doing these things consistently on a daily basis, people begin to share, people begin to announce me, and then people come to follow me. And that's how the followership keeps increasing. Yesterday night, it was 72K.
Wow.
I'm going to get it to 100K by the end. And then finally, guys, on this part, I try as much as possible to remain relevant. Why do I want to remain relevant? I don't want to be relevant until I die.
Wow.
So I began to look at individuals in the industry. I looked at Don Jazzy. 2 individuals that I saw, Don Jazzy and RMD. And I look at the expressions. RMD can dangle to the youth. RMD can dangle also to the elderly. Don Jazzy does the same thing. With Don Jazzy, he promotes people. And people know that I can wake up any day and check someone through my timeline. I say, this person is worth promoting. And I promote without the individual paying me. Sometimes I just wake up and I connect. So to remain relevant, I said I need to be the bridge between the young and also the old. I'm 42, but I'm connecting between the young and the old. And I came up with an idea and I said, okay, I'm going to showcase 20 individuals in December who are young individuals.
Okay.
And just showcase them. And then I'm also going to do the same thing for those who are above 40. So if you consistently do these things, you find out that people carry you on their head. They talk to you. I can't exhaust everything. This year alone, I have...
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it. So the more you do it, and do it with your heart, intentionally, loving individuals, you see that you begin to grow and...
Yeah, thank you,
benefits
Emeka Nobis. I think you need to appreciate him once again, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is the 3rd time you're hearing the word consistency. Please note. Now, Emeka, I want us to be very frank and sincere. Numbers, we want to look at numbers. For someone that is having 71 followers, how has this, and still counting exactly, how has this affected or impacted your life financially? Truthfully.
We didn't talk that one. No. I'm not a multimillionaire, but I can say I have gone away from praying for food and to feed for my family. I'm not a multimillionaire, but I don't pray for food. I don't pray for my family to feed. I don't pray for school fees anymore. To tell you the truth, that with the numbers, things happen. So some of the stories you read me write on my timeline, some of them we are paid for. I didn't just write the stories. Somebody paid for that story to gauge, to see how people react to such stories. Sometimes I write about a story about people leaving Nigeria to Canada. People will come there, and some of those stories didn't happen. But people will come there, they are expressing their anger and everything. Someone paid for it. Secondly, I do trainings, and sometimes I put out the training and 1,000 people pay. Sometimes I put out a training of 2,000 and 2,000 naira, 1,000 people pay 2 million in a period of 2 weeks.
Okay.
Sometimes I go back to visit my colleagues back at the oil servicing company, and my boss says, you come back. I say, come back. Will you be able to pay me this amount in 3 weeks? No, not possible pay you. I say, why do you want me to come back here? So I do trainings, people pay for it. And then thirdly, I can tell you that sometimes people look at money, but human capital, by investment of your time and energy to grow other individuals, that is where the real money lies. I can tell you, during our tours, over 7 months, people were coming out. They were giving us money, even without us announcing it on Facebook. People will say, come and sleep in this apartment, we'll pay you. The one in Lagos, the guy paid we thought it was a joke. Wow. 600,000 naira. He showed us the transfer of the money. Come and stay in this apartment, 3-bedroom apartment in Lekki, and just feel at peace. And we did it. So you find out that human capital about investing in individuals. That's where the real money lies. This year alone, I've gotten 6 pairs of shoes. The first time in my life that I ever had I look and see 6 pairs of shoes. Who I be before? Only 2 serve. I'm okay and I'm moving my life. I be close. This one I'm wearing was dashed.
Wow.
You get what I mean? This one I'm wearing, the same.
Please celebrate him.
It's human capital.
Thank
the more
you.
you do it, that's how, I can tell it for free that it's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
It's beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you enjoying yourself? Okay, the Don himself. I'm now calling you the Don. Okay, you held a program early this year talking of dominate in business. And in that program, you held it in various locations in Nigeria and went out in Ghana to do it. But then, you never had a physical meeting with some of these people. How were you able to pull through? How did you do it?
Okay, so I tell you, everything boils down to the individuals you've been touching their lives over time. So I didn't jump out to start doing tours. People see pictures now, they see 1,000. Lagos was almost this number, and they'll see the number, they're like, Emeka Nobis don't blow, hey. But we started out way back. I did tours in people's houses. That's why when I see people want to blow overnight, I did tour inside a pastor's back office where he used to meet his staff. Then what I used to do was I listed the cities and I began to reach out through social media. Those that I've connected to, I began to call them and tell them, guy, I'm coming to your town. What can you help me do? What can you help me sort out? So I started out 2015. That was when I did the first tour in Nigeria. Enugu, went to 7 cities. It wasn't loud. I wasn't that loud individual at that time. I just did my thing and I parked it one side. For this particular one, there were reasons. I said the reasons, because if you want to start tours, what are the reasons? The reasons for me at that time was mainly visibility. I needed people to see me, that I was physical. I wanted people to connect to me emotionally. You know, there are some things people see on your timeline. There's this perception that they have about you. This one is snobbish. This one doesn't do this one. This one is like that. But when they see you in real life, there are some individuals who place all those nasty comments. When they see you in real life, they can't even talk. They can't even face you. Sure. Only my body self. They all look at me. They all maintain like a pussycat. So the key objective was visibility. Mm-hmm. Second thing was that I said to myself, I may not be able to push this alone. I need a collaborator. I need someone who's going to go with me. I was shouting in Port Harcourt, let us have collaborative movement. Everybody, it is correct, or it is this. Only Nnamdi raised his hand and said, Emeka, let's do it. He came to my office and then we did the analysis, the cost implication and everything. And then when we settled on that, we said, okay, which cities are we going to visit? We looked at it. We don't have plenty followers in Meduguri and Sokoto, so there was no need putting there. We looked at the cities where we had individuals who were relating with us on social media, and we selected those 7 cities. So the next thing we did was that, how can we do these things? Because we don't need to be traveling and going there. We needed individuals who could run with us. So we started to have volunteers. We started out from Owerri here. So we reached out to a few individuals like Hector, like Excel Aja, and then they said we will form a volunteer force. And then they formed volunteer forces. But there was something we did that tech helped us. So we set up a landing page, and that was where people were doing their registration. So you'd register, you put your name and your email, it takes you to another place, and from there you get into WhatsApp, and then you come into a WhatsApp group. Okay. So while in the WhatsApp group, we will be hyping them, telling them to go and tell their friends like that. That was what we are using, people who had already signed up to become our mouthpieces. So they will be advertising, telling their friends, we are posting content, telling them what to do, and then they were doing it. So the volunteers, we had what they needed to do, security, finding the venue, finding an apartment for us, marketing and all that. So they formed different groups. Why did they do that? They did it because by virtue of the value that you put in people's lives, there is an embedding of the spirit of reciprocity. They want to just give back. Mm-hmm. By virtue of what you have been doing for them, they said, nah, let us give this guy something in return. So they took it upon themselves, and then they began to do stuff. They found venues. I mean, there was the one we used in Lagos. They said the place was 3 million naira. 3 individuals said, lie, Emeka will not pay 3 million. Wow. They stuck out their neck. And at the end of the day, we did 800,000 for the hall, everything. Some other places too. One guy gave us, Remedy Wanko gave us a free space in Abuja. Why? Because I wrote about him. That's why when you keep hiding about, this stupid mentality of that bank gave me good service, I won't write about them because they didn't pay me to advertise. Peasant mentality. Change from that mentality.
All right, a round of applause.
You know what I mean? So by doing all that, we began to set up in those different cities. And we just get there, do our thing, and then we go back. And to tell you the truth, Namdi that worked with me on this, his followership grew. Namdi was about 3,000 followers. And then he grew to about 11,000 by the time we were done. I was at 30-something thousand. I don't know why my own grew more than his own. But by the time we were done, I was at 69 or 68,000 followers on Facebook. So you see it. So we had all these things, and then we planned. Money was also something that we thought about. Because if you are doing tour, you have to think about money. We did the planning, how much it was going to cost us in case we didn't have any sponsor. And we didn't have any sponsor. And asked me how we were able to raise money through these two products. So I did cheap money training. I raised about 4 million from there. I did another one. I raised about 3 million from there. Just like that, these two products, and we self-sponsored ourselves. Nobody sponsored us. We didn't go on social media and say, raise money for us, so we are doing tour. We don't get money. Help us, our followers. You have followers. Help us. No, we didn't. And then we kept on. As we kept on doing, people started seeing. And then they began to send us money in secret. People would send 10K, 5K like that. Some even send recharge card to make phone calls and everything. So that's how we were.
Please celebrate Emeka Nobis.
Thank you very much.
All right, so I'll be taking questions on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So I'll start with this one. If you drop your question, I may not entertain all of the questions, please. Okay, this question is to the Don. Please, when I give you a question, at least use 1 minute because we just have less than 10 minutes to leave here. Joshua Nwogo says, as a designer, this to Mr. Emeka, I have got to put my brand out there. I have been consistent since 2017. Remember, we talked about consistency. But with more brands that I have created for myself, both on Facebook and Instagram, for my design, I do photography, and also have a music career, it has gotten more difficult. This person is not just a designer, he's a photographer. Only him, he's also a musician.
Yeah, only you won't die.
So, then he's asking this question, that's since 2017. It says, please, what can I do to make it easy? Because I've been uploading my designs consistently since this year because of time. So it's been difficult for him.
Well, I think it goes beyond. It also depends on how you are uploading what you're uploading. Let me start from the first one. I mean, you are creating multiple expressions of yourself, only you. It could be very tiring. I tell you the truth. I usually tell individuals, choose one or two, at least personally for yourself. Then all those other expressions of yours, you can find someone through whom that expression can find manifestation. That way you read, because it's only you. How many people who come and tell me they sleep 4 hours? You are damaging yourself. I like sleep 8 hours. I'm not here quarreling with anybody. That's how they do my life. I don't take my laptop to home. That's the way it is. So just to be clear on that. Then the second thing I want to share is, it depends on how you are uploading your design. There are some individuals that they will upload design. Immediately they just upload design. They will say, they'll put the price and come and buy. Only come and buy. Why? Who are you? Why should we buy? If your design, you can wear your design the same way that Nelly wears her design. And then when you wear the design, you can dance the way she dances. Or you can do catwalking. Let everybody see how the design you have done, how does it fit you? In their mind, they are thinking, if I wear the same thing, this is how I am going to be. When I walk into a place, people will look at me. But if you just put it only on mannequin, and you're snapping mannequin all the time, mannequin alone, nobody is going to buy. So find different expressions, as he has said. Today, it could be talking about how your ideas came. Tomorrow, it could be you at the event where the individual you made the design for is wearing it. Take the pictures, take the videos, and let us see. It's not you talking. Let's see the evidence of what it is that you have created. Another day, it could be you may decide to walk into the bush and take pictures of you inside the bush and say, this is where my inspiration is coming. All the designs I'm making is inside this bush. People will start having conversations about your brand and saying, this guy, there's something about him. Next tomorrow, you talk about your process, how you went to the market, all the things you have been doing in the market, how you did your hustling and everything. Just keep changing different things. And then beyond that, Step out, not just social media. I tell individuals, people feel that it's only the social media thing, though. Step out, do some physical walk around, do some physical visitations, and you find out that you start having some breakthrough here. And maybe, who knows, one day, somebody may decide to write about you, like the way they did about Sabine. I can tell you the day Niger Branch wrote about me, a lot was just coming, boom, boom, boom. That day I said, God, it was on Sunday. God, just day your side, make I did this a lot, we just enter. Maybe somebody will see you one day and write about you, and that will be the breakthrough that you need. I hope that happens for you, really.
All right, a round of applause.